like right now, my life is taking a complete reset. I lost my high-paying job of working at a tennis club where I saw such a big future in. I thought that I was gonna work there for years. I was thinking about a whole life, kind of like a year or 2 year relationship that you were 100% in, and you saw a whole life with this person, and you thought that you would grow old and never fall apart, and it kind of fell apart, at in a way that I didn't even would ever think would happen, but it happened, and I lost the job, and I'm 22 years old. I lost the job, and then I immediately pretty much just went to Europe, and I went to Europe and I explored for like a month and a half, hung out with friends, had some alone time just to reflect and think, and as well fell in love, and then now it's been about 2-3 days that I've been back home, and I've just been teaching tennis at the first ever club that I taught tennis at. And I don't know, I'm kind of in a resetting place. I just thought of an idea for a brand that I want to start, and I'm going to start, and that I'm going to succeed in. I just want to speak these things into existence, but it's like a resetting period. It's a period that I truthfully would never expect would come, and it's definitely God destined, because it's all out of my control. If it was up to me, I would have sat in so much comfort in that job, and I would have got a Porsche, and then I would have got a house, and then I would have built this whole life that truthfully I would have never even have wanted. That wasn't the life I dreamed of. That's not the career I even really dreamed of, or the thing I thought I'd be doing for the rest of my life. I always saw myself doing more, giving back, and I kind of got in that position, and I started becoming very comfortable with being comfortable, and living this easy life that was maybe not easy, but it's just a simple life. And I didn't have my goals suddenly slipped away, my ambitions suddenly slipped away, and I just put 100% into this job. And there's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with people that play small in life, but you get nothing out of playing small. And I don't want to see it sound like I'm dissing somebody, or that I'm disrespecting the 9-to-5 workers of the world, but I want certain things in life. I want a certain life for myself, and I dream of a certain life for myself, and I have real dreams and aspirations of doing more, and I know that I have a real purpose in this life to do so many great things. But that whole comfort situation made me lose sight of the fact that I had those dreams, and I feel like a statistic. I became like everybody else. I got eaten by the world, and I started thinking that was life, and that was the only life I was going to live. And even while I was living it, I wasn't aligned. I didn't feel I was comfortable, but I felt so uncomfortable being comfortable. I wasn't happy living this life. I was coming home every day tired, and just like feeling like I was doing something, but I was really going nowhere. And then after a while, I started to realize I was going nowhere. I was like, where am I going? What am I really doing? And it just felt wrong. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing exactly what I'm destined to do. Of course, it was right for the time, and it was exactly what I was supposed to be doing in that time, but it didn't feel right. And I feel like that was God showing me a taste of a life that I do not want to live, or showing me life I don't want to live. And I've had God do that to me multiple times. A lot of you guys don't know my story, but before I became this person that's speaking in front of the camera today, 3-4 years ago, I was addicted to drugs and I was homeless, right? So I saw that life, and these people in this new life, right, where I was teaching tennis, and I was this tennis guy, and I was in front of all these people, and they looked at me like a different person. They looked at me and saw somebody that I knew I wasn't, or they don't know the full story of. Which was incredible to me, because it was like, these people don't know me for my wrongs. These people only know me for being the person I am today, and that was something that was very, very beautiful to have in that time. cherish. I cherish that in that time I was like, I became another person, and people don't see me for who I used to be, or they don't know me for who I used to be, and they only see the great in me, and the person that I am today. And that was something I feel like I needed to experience, and just learning about business and the whole mix of that, understanding that I want to be a boss. I don't want to be a worker. I want to be a boss. I want to be the person running this. I want to be the person that's changing other people's lives, and the person that is living with a purpose. I kind of feel like I'm talking in circles, but I say this to say, like, you're always gonna live a life that you're not meant to live the life that you're supposed to live. I feel like in this time period now, everything is changing and everything is shifting, and I don't fully see it, but I see that I'm going to something greater, and I can complain about the past, I can be ungrateful for the past, and I can be like, what did I do in my life? Why did I ruin my life? And these thoughts are real. These thoughts are real of, oh, I fucked my whole life, of, oh, I got fired, but it's like, these are all things out of my control. These are all God just aligning what he's trying to align. I can't even understand how all these things happen and all these events are happening, but they're happening. I met a girl in France, and I fell in love with her in Italy. How did that happen? Like, how did that happen? That was just something I could have never dreamt up in a million years, even though it was my fantasy for years. But it's like, it happened, and it just happened, and these things keep happening. And even right now, the feelings that I'm having of where I'm at, and the insecurity, and the things I truly do want in life, like a family, and a marriage, and a relationship, that I feel like I'm so far from, in a career that I feel like I'm so far from right now, because I'm starting from ground zero. And I feel as though right now it's just so important to be grateful for what you do have. Like, today I'm working, today I have money that's coming in, today I'm abundant, and exaggerating it a little bit to the slight delusion that you have to, and then taking the one step every day in the morning, where I'm waking up and I'm working on that brand, and there's 2 steps in the day where I'm getting up and I'm making money to fund that brand, and because all you can do is take these steps. All you can do is pull out the camera and speak your mind, because that's all I can do right now, right? If I don't do that, I'm not working. I'm not going anywhere. And even while you think that you're going somewhere, you almost sometimes are not. You're running somewhere, but you're not running anywhere. You're running fast, but you're running in a maze. You're running in the abyss. And that was a place that I lived in. I've continued to go in and out of living there, and I feel like I still live there. But the abyss of life, the abyss of sin, the abyss of this world, believing what the world is telling you, believing this lie of the world of, you need this, and you need this, and you need to be this, and you need to do that, and you need to do that. And this is what success is, and this is what it's not, and this is what it's it. But you're your own person. I forget that I'm my own person. I create my success. I create what abundance is. I create what a life is. I create my reality. The reality that I want to believe is truthfully up to me, and the person that I want to be is truthfully up to me. It's not up to anybody. It's up to me. And it's up to me and God. But it's up to me how I choose to look at my life on this day. It's up to me how I choose to live my life on this day. Whether I want to live in sin, whether I want to live wrong, whether I want to live right, whether I want to tell the truth, whether I want to tell a lie, whether I want to be Kyle or I want to be KJ today, which is a whole nother person, and I have a choice. I have a choice of who I want to be and how I want to live today, and that's all I could ask for, and I'm grateful to be able to pull out this camera and speak and give my truth, even if nobody hears this message. I said it, I spoke it into the world, I spoke it somewhere. Maybe somebody's listening. I don't know. God's listening. This is maybe a prayer. But I did this. Maybe the camera's recording. Maybe it's not. But